Hey guys, I really wish I was there with you today, but obviously I am not. I am in a training session, but we are going to learn how to properly write stage blocking on your scripts. First of all, I think you guys did some really great first performances. Those of you who are having to be recorded, I really look forward to watching those performances. You're probably thinking, wow, Mrs. Harrell, you look really tired right now. I am really tired, so just pardon the Mrs. Tired Harrell that you see on the screen here, but we're going to go over blocking. So you guys should have a blocking key that you were able to download from the Padlet link. So take a look at that blocking key. You will see some of the stuff you already learned, which is parts of the stage. So the DRs, the down right center, down left center, down left, those are the parts that are closest to the audience. So these parts right here, closest to the audience. Up is the part of the stage that's farthest away from the audience, and then all of this right here is the center of the stage. These are the little symbols that we use for blocking. Don't worry, we are not going to use all of these symbols. The most important symbols that we're going to use are going to be cross, cross in, go toward, cross above or behind, the enter and the exit, and the sit and the rise. Those are some of the main things we will use. Some of this other stuff you may use, but those that I just went over just now are going to be the most important things that you'll want to know. So let's take a look at one of the scripts. I chose this Josie and Pete skit. I know a few of you have chosen to do this script. Now, when you have a script, I want you to, first of all, notice that there's already some blocking that's listed. So some of the blocking that's already listed here is Josie enters through doorway. One thing I want you to keep in mind is that you do not have to keep any blocking that's written in the play. You can choose whether or not to keep that blocking. You don't have to, but if you like it, you can keep it. Now remember, blocking is this stuff over here. It's the stuff that you use to indicate what the movements are. So you can keep movements that are in the script, but you don't have to. For me, I'm going to keep this. So I just underlined it, indicating that I'm keeping that blocking. Josie says ah, Pete says ah. So at the beginning of the scene, what I think I want is I want Pete is sitting, and Josie enters. So enter, if we look over here, is E-N. Over here for sitting and standing, it has S with an arrow and R with an arrow. You can just either put an arrow up or an arrow down. This means Pete is sitting. Josie enters. When Pete says ah, I am going to want Pete to stand on that line. So I write that right here. Josie says, what are you doing? I might want on that line for Josie to cross to Pete. So what I'm going to put is cross Pete, which means she crosses to Pete. Pete says, don't do that. What are you doing? You shouldn't sneak up on people on rooftops. What are you doing on the roof? What are you doing on the roof? I asked you first. You're not supposed to be up here, and you are. What are you doing? I am carrying a fairly obvious paper bag. So what I'm going to do is actually right here, I feel like from my perspective, this would be a good place for Josie to sit, open her bag, and start eating her lunch. So what I'm going to put right here is Josie. Yes, indeed, there's a lunch. I'm going to have her sit on that line. So I'm going to write that there. So there's lunch there. We can go even further to say that the lunch itself is a rather obvious peanut butter and jam sandwich on a whole wheat bread. Although the jam is boysenberry, which could be seen as an unexpected and way out there choice, that's how I roll. You, on the other hand, are covered in egg cartons. The burden of answering the what are you doing question clearly falls to you. So Pete says, you're the new girl. I'm going to have Pete sit there. So now they're both sitting side by side. So this is how we write proper blocking. We use these symbols here to indicate what the actors are doing. My task for you, well, actually, let's do one other thing before I say what my task is for you. Okay, I want to use some blocking where I use these symbols right here, but I also use some of these symbols here. So if I go back to what I've already written, I probably need to be more specific. So we're going to say Pete sits, but he's sitting center stage. And there's probably a chair center stage, so we are going to draw a chair. So that's what I should have done. So Pete sits center on chair. You see right here, here's the chair symbol. Here is the center for symbol. You don't have to put that little line through the C. You just have to put the C. And then Josie enters, and we're going to say, and crosses to Pete. Pete says, "Aw, what are you doing?" And then let's go ahead, actually get rid of this. I'm sorry guys, I'm kind of doing this as I go, so I feel like at some points we are going to get rid of this. Josie enters, that's what it is. She doesn't cross to Pete until here. So Josie enters. Pete stands, so remember he's center stage, he stands where he is at center. Josie says, "What are you doing?" She crosses to Pete. And we are going to put there, she crosses center to Pete, because remember, Pete is center. What we will put is Josie enters from stage right, which means she enters from over here. So she would be off stage in the wings over here, and she'd enter stage right, and then she crosses to Pete, who is here. So let's go back to that. Pete, right here, is center stage, sitting on a chair. That down arrow means sit. That little H thing that looks like an H means a chair, and the C means center. Then we have Josie in the beginning enters from stage right, which is over here. We have Pete stands up, so he's at that center chair right here, and he stands up. What are you doing? Josie then crosses center to Pete. So that's how you combine these directions right here with your stage directions. I know that was kind of all over the place, so it was probably clear as mud for you. But this is your task. This is what I want you to do. This is your assignment. You need to, now that you're done with doing your scenes one time, go through your script. You need to come up with at least 5 pieces of blocking per character. You need to write down at least 5 pieces of blocking per character. You're going to write that blocking down using these symbols over here and your stage symbols here, just like I did an example of over on the right. Now, you're going to write that down. You can either do it on your computer or you can do it on paper. That is going to be due to Mr. Bob. For 5th hour, it's due to Mr. Bob Wednesday at the end of the hour, and for 6th hour, it's due to Mr. Bob Thursday at the end of the hour. We will come back to that when I'm back with you on Tuesday, because remember, we don't have class Friday and we don't have class Monday. So on Tuesday, we'll come back to this blocking, and we will look at that, and we will also look at memorizing the script, because you guys are going to be performing this again after we give feedback to each other. So we'll probably perform these scenes again in about another 1.5 to 2 weeks. We'll give you time to get your blocking down and to do your memorization. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll have my email on during the training session. But enjoy, and miss you guys today. Wish I was with you. Have a good day. Have a good long weekend. Bye.